Okay, I'm just gonna put this out there for the record, for the Akashic record, right? Hear the plane? That's the world's slowest airplane, I call it. Flies over all day and half the night, day and night. And every time it takes, it's 5 minutes or 10 minutes, it just kind of roams around slowly going in this area and before it goes to some other area and then comes back again, right? A lot of times that coincides with one of the jets that hundreds and hundreds a day take off from PDX, which is like 8 miles south of here. And instead of climbing to altitude to go to their destination, which is why you fly a jetliner somewhere, to presumably go somewhere with something or people on board, they level off at 2,000 feet and they fly as slow as they can. I don't know exactly 2,000 feet. They're clearly visible and they're clearly not very high up. And they fly as slow as they can across the entirety of Clark County. And I know that they go like across the Columbia River up by the gorge, and they never climbed altitude, is the point, and they never accelerate. Hundreds and hundreds a day. It's been this way for years. I mean, am I the only person who notices or thinks that that's a strange way to fly a jet aircraft? Taking off from the new runway that doesn't have a passenger terminal at PDX? Give me a break. Every time it comes by, every time the little plane as well, when they converge, Morgellons issue, I get the creepy, crawly, phantom touch symptoms. You know where? Right there. Right? Right there. Right there. On the back of my head. I feel it, along my spine, basically. It culminates right on the back of my head. And then my temples and my eyebrows and my earlobes, especially. As if, there's being, something there. As if there's like, cobwebby material on my eyebrows. You ever walk into a spider web and then that's what it feels like. And oftentimes a Morgellon hair will appear at that point too. Sorry, I'm shaking the camera around, but hey, guess what? Here comes the airplane again. Another one. That's super cool. And I feel it every time right there. And it's been that way for about 11 years now, 10, 11 years since I really noticed it. And it's a lot less of a problem now because I'm in better health now because of my crazy treatments. But no, constantly, no big surprise either is that I can take the torch and when the smoke or the candle or either one and this strange smelling vaporous smoke that clings to my head, it fills the room, comes off prolifically. That's the area where it's the most concentrated. But that's too many things for this video. What I'm saying is, why are there airplanes flying continuously over our neighborhoods at low altitude, slowly? Why would you fly jets? Presumably passenger jets, they look like 727s, and such. Maybe 737s, maybe 747s, but in that range of size. Just one after another after another. At night too, it's real neat at night because I happen to know if you go over to PDX at 3 in the morning on any given day, except for certain whatever certain days, but and there's nothing going on. There's not zillions of passengers waiting to get on flight after flight after flight after flight all night long. That's ridiculous. So what the hell? What's going on? Does anybody even care are directed energy weapons real? Does anybody even care if they were used on them? Like, well, there's nothing we can do about that. It's up in the sky and our government's in charge. And if that's your attitude, here comes the plane again. Yeah, I think landing on me. Uh, Not the plane. If that's your attitude, then why do we have courts? Why do we have police and what firemen and militaries if there's nothing anybody can do about anything and there's no law to be upheld in any way? Why? Those things are a complete waste. And you look at ask somebody about Kimberly T. Rails. Ask a cop. Ask a fireman. Ask a doctor. Ask a school teacher. None of those people know what you're talking about. What's a chemtrail? Gee, I don't know. Especially your doctor. He has no idea, and if it was a real thing, he'd know about it, right? Take care. Wake up.